Shamanic mirroring. Everything on earth reflects everything else much of the time. We can see it everywhere, and we humans are no different. We reflect one another. More importantly, we reflect ourselves. And in this video, I'm going to discuss what shamanic mirroring truly is. Shamanic mirroring is something that I deal a lot with on my courses as part of shamanic interaction when we are studying shamanism. And the subject of role play, it often comes up, and most people want to head for the hills when I introduce role play, and they seem to think that it is something separate from shamanic interaction. Well, I'm here now to say that it isn't. It isn't at all. Shamanic mirroring or role play is something we need to get our minds around, because much of the time, most people anyway, they have a lot of information and knowledge about life, about shamanism, and about the way they are to themselves in here. It's all in here. Usually we've got ideas and theories trapped in here, and we've got emotional experience trapped in here, because this is Ravnos, the thinking one, the thinking greater ancestor. And this is Cam's area, the heart area, where we tend to hold on to all those emotions. Now, when I'm talking about shamanic mirroring or role play, I'm actually giving people an opportunity to bring these things from here out, just so that they can experiment, try to understand how they behave, how they think, how they feel, how they relate to those things. Now, it doesn't mean that we pull every experience, every thought out. That's not what we're talking about. What we actually do is we engage with something that's usually quite light-hearted. We have a situation where usually it's fun. Usually everyone ends up laughing. And before people engage in role play or shamanic mirroring, they are quite freaked by the thought of putting themselves in a situation where they will have to do something, be something, think about something, feel something, and express that. Now, if we're not doing that every single day of our lives, just think about this. We are. From the moment we get out of bed, we're doing this every single day, to the moment we put our heads on the pillows again. We are always engaging in shamanic mirroring or role play. Now, by that I mean we are acting every day of our lives in the sense of doing, being, making something work. We are acting. Acting doesn't mean just acting on a stage. It means to do. It means we are making something possible. But we get into the habit of acting out as we've been accustomed to doing, as we've been schooled to do, usually throughout our lives, and we're not always acting out a refinement of what we are, an ability to communicate in a very sound and effective way. To begin with, our individualism sets us apart, isolates us personally from everyone and everything on the planet. We're a lone seed, effectively shooting up usually in any way we can, because we're no longer integrated with or integral to the natural world and each other. This means we're usually answerable to schooled behaviour, influences from family, relationships, college, work, you name it, influences that have said, "Thou shalt not." So we need help in disentangling ourselves from this, Talking and using modern counselling and therapeutic techniques can naturally help. But in my experience, nothing cuts to the chase more than Romani-based shamanic mirroring or roleplay. If we feel particularly uncomfortable about doing something within roleplay, it invariably means there is something usually to let go of. And this is difficult, but acting this out in this age-old way will inevitably help.
In you just want to have a bit of that toast or that
I'm just feeling a bit exhausted now.
Aren't
you?
Yeah.
We're not getting anywhere with this.
Blimey.
Oh, it's saying goodbye.
Should we have a bit of toast and butter?
Yeah.
Come on then.
Well done. Thank you to all this. It was interesting that way round, wasn't it?
Just not just 10.
If we can get our minds around this, that when we are engaging in light-hearted roleplay, it's always light-hearted. There's never any Macbeth situations. It's always light-hearted. And we always are given an opportunity to express how we feel in a safe environment. That is the thing. There is no wrong. There are no wrongs. There's nothing wrong about any of this, any shamanic mirroring or role play. It's just a question of getting used to the fact of the way you express yourself, the way you deliver who and what you are. And if you can deliver who and what you are in a much more positive and expressive way that is much more of you, with your senses and wits and everything contained within that, just imagine how that can be. Imagine how wonderful that can be. If you can, try seeing shamanic mirroring as reflection. You can see reflections within water, within puddles, within streams, all kinds of things. And that's what we're really doing when we're practicing shamanic mirroring and shamanic interaction. We're actually seeing a reflection of ourselves when we do this. And we're actually seeing a reflection also of each other. And within that, we can work out all that we can bring from the inside our minds and inside our hearts and inner self, out into the open, and to express it in a really acceptable and sometimes even a quite profound way. Just try, if you can, to change your thinking a little where roleplay and shamanic mirroring is concerned. So when people come to my workshops and we do a little fun role-playing, we have the masks on or we just act something out in a group, it's fun, it's light-hearted, it causes a lot of laughter, but it's not me bringing something into this situation that is nothing to do with shamanic interaction. Remember that this is everything, absolutely everything to do with shamanic interaction. Ancient people act things out all the time. They make contact with the elements, in this case fire. They make contact with animals and birds and all kinds of beings around them. They make contact in a shamanic way, and that means they're mirroring what is around them. This has gone on for many, many thousands of years, particularly in the Romani culture. That brings us on to ritual. Shamanic ritual is about all these things. And for the Romani people who used to go about in the villages, and they would go from village to village, mimicking, practicing shamanic mirroring, acting the fool because they're picking up on things people are doing, it used to cause hysterics. Masks were used for seasonal changes. You wore them as the seasons changed and expressed the qualities of the seasonal changes. And, well, some of them were quite bizarre. Mascara is the ancient word, the ancient name for mimicking and mirroring. The Banjara people, to whom I'm related way back, use mirrors to reflect everything around them in their fabrics. So if you're well-intentioned and sincere, such would be reflected back to you. But if you weren't so well-intentioned and not so sincere, then that would be reflected back to you too. All the more reason to practice some constructive shamanic mirroring in the workshop room, so that this...
Spirit, if I find you food, will you leave owl? Be free of this spirit. Are you here? Hi. Welcome back. Thanks. Welcome back.
can become this.
Yes.
So try if you can to see that when I introduce role play, that when I introduce this kind of shamanic mirroring, it is so that we can study the way ancient people functioned, the way shamanism is, and it will all add up to you being good at the shamanic interaction that you might be practicing. So let's recap and let's reflect for a moment on an ancient European ancestral shaman who's in a forest. He thinks about the spirit of the deer in relation to hunting. He sees, feels and experiences the deer's movements and behaviour, its intention, and he'll want to act these out. And that's because there's value in mirroring what the deer's spirit is saying. But he can't do this well until he can mirror his own intentions and behaviour. He might also think about the spirit of the owl, who's bringing a message to everyone. And he will again see, feel and experience the owl's movements, behaviour and the owl's intention. And he'll want to act those out too. But once again, he can't do this well unless he can mirror his own intentions and behaviour. And in earlier times, of course, this mirroring process of mascara would extend to water, to trees, to mountains, and of course even the spirits that might haunt the woodlands. Acting out the movements and behaviour and absorbing the intention of bird and animal and people alike is an honouring process, just as it is with mirroring our own personal selves. We are honouring our own Z by acting out our own inner movements and personal intentions, and crucially, we can never ape or mimic anyone unless we're addressing the capabilities for mirroring or role play within ourselves.
So really, so stunning. Now look at there, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So remember this, when you wake in the mornings and get up, realise what you are mirroring as you begin your day. Yourself in your schooled past, or yourself as you are now in the present.
Nicely done, nicely done.
And should you be playing mascara and mimicking or jesting professionally, take care that you're never taking the rise out of the unfortunate. To find out how best and appropriate to practice mascara and shamanic mirroring, come to a workshop. Our aim is always to present aspects and elements of myth and folklore so that it can be used for educational purposes. And also you can come along and have a lot of fun at the same time. So have a think about this, and I'll talk some more about it because it is an important area, but people needn't freak out when they're asked to do it. It's all party style. It's all fun. It's all stuff that we need to be able to look at objectively. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon.